Hello Facebookers people, I'm Konstantinos and today we're going to talk about the bad periods on Facebook and what you should do on your ad account. I believe the previous year I posted one video, it had similar title, how to overcome bad periods, but this was completely different. I was telling you that if you have a bad period, you can just run a promo, inflate the results within the Facebook ads platform, and this is going to help you continue scaling after that, because these results are not going to just help you to have inflated results for just a week, but they're going to help you a lot. The same thing is something that I have done with several companies that I'm working with on April, which we ran promos after a bad March, which was one of the worst months in the last 12 months, I believe. We have seen posts on Reddit like this or like this, where people are proposing to close your ads for 24 hours and then turn them on again because you're losing money and all of that. So let's go dive deep inside that. Also, let's analyze a little bit the different strategy, and then we will go into my PC to show you how I overcome this period on some of my ad accounts. So while I'm explaining things, I'm going to leave these posts over here. These are just a few of the posts that I have seen on Reddit or the posts that people send me, and we have analyzed them also into my podcast and all of that. But you can see how people can influence others. You can call me evil, but sometimes I upvote them because I want people to get panicked and close their ads so that all of us can have better results. At the end of the day, whoever is trained, they're not going to close their ads, they know how the game is being played. Hi guys, I would like to interrupt this video in order to talk to you about my new mentorship programs, and I would love if you go to the website. You're going to find the link in the description, or you can find it in the menu of my website, and over there you're going to be able to see the different mentorship programs that I have. You can find the one that is going to fit better your needs, and I will hope to see you there. We have analyzed this topic several times, and yes, in the previous year I told you that one way is to do something like a promo to inflate the results, and then these results are going to stay, and you can see the video to see the strategy and how it worked for this ad account. This is something that I'm doing right now after a bad month, which was the whole March. But this is not for periods, this is not ideal for periods that they're really long periods, okay, that you have a problem for a much longer period. The truth is that there is only one answer to what you can do. If your ad account is trained and you have a structure like the ones that we are talking about in this channel with several campaigns and stuff, most of the time, touching nothing is going to be the best solution over here, if you can afford it, because there are going to be ad accounts that they cannot afford it. For example, there was a case with one ad account that it was profitable, and then because they were new business, they didn't have VAT to actually give. Now that they have to give VAT, they're not profitable anymore. This is a problem which we didn't have in this ad account before, but we do have now because their numbers are not friendly. And this made me think more and more about how all the other companies are influencing the results of other companies and competition and all of that, which is something that we're going to discuss in another video. So Meta is going to have bad periods. This is something that all of us that we advertise for many years, we know, and we can just think that it's because of an election, because of a war, because of a pandemic. In this situation, what I have seen in March is that the CPMs didn't rise, but the cost per acquisition rose. Maybe it's the changes that Meta is doing right now with the Advanced Plus campaigns. Maybe it's the inflation and people have less money to spend. I just believe that I'm just a very small fish in order to understand all the global games and to be able to know. I'm just observing data and I'm trying to do the best that I can. If you have a company which is just in between the verge of being profitable or unprofitable, most probably these periods are going to affect you a lot. Then we have to analyze a little bit these periods from the point of having a period which is really bad for big ad accounts or for small ad accounts. All the periods which are bad, they're going to be bad for small ad accounts because they are being influenced much easier. But there are periods which are bad. For example, the first 15 days of March, they were not bad for the bigger ad accounts. the last 15 days of March were bad for all of the ad accounts, including the bigger ad accounts. So there are periods that they're bad for small, medium ad accounts, and there are periods that they're bad for all ad accounts. Sometimes the bigger ad accounts are not being influenced as easy as other smaller ad accounts. And the truth is that the best thing that you can do if you have a good structure and all of that, and you don't have just one campaign, which this is why I don't like to have just one campaign, because in this period it's going to hurt you much more. You don't have room of lowering the budget across several campaigns in order to be able to limit it a little bit, or maybe close some campaign. You don't have this option basically, and you're just playing with one campaign. That's why I don't like consolidation, especially for bad periods. You don't have flexible ways of actually being able to combat the whole situation in a bad period. So my advice, and this is what I do also in other accounts that are strong and they have good numbers, I'm actually trying to do the least possible changes, because the more you change stuff, the more you're having a domino effect, which is going to affect you a lot. So least possible changes and the other accounts are going to recover. How do we know it? I have now 2 other accounts to show you that I haven't done anything because they have good numbers, okay? I haven't touched anything in terms of spend, in terms of the campaigns and all of that, and I can show you now how they have actually recovered comparing to the month of March. Don't get me wrong, they were also profitable during March, but with lower profits, and now they are much more profitable. The same thing is happening with other accounts, but of course I do understand that in reality we cannot just go in a situation that we are losing for 1 or 2 months money and then we're becoming profitable again. So you have to take actions, but in an ideal world and in theory, you should not touch this on these periods. At the end of the day, if you think of it, the ad accounts are going to become back to normal numbers when the extra people who came to advertise or the crisis is going to end. The other question that I get a lot is, how do I know that it's a bad period? Well, if you go to Reddit and on other places, you will see that everybody's crying about something. I have the luxury of having several other accounts and friends and students that we talk about results daily, so we know if it's a bad period or even a bad day, so that we shouldn't be worried about one other account. The reason that I'm making this video is because I do understand that some of you don't have the luxury of not doing any change, but I want you to see with your own eyes that in other accounts that I haven't made a single change because they were profitable, the situation is that these other accounts now have recovered to totally good numbers, and this is what we're going to see. So in this other account, I'm going to show you this. On November, over here on Black Friday, I had 6 rows by spending 16k. Inflated results. Black Friday was really good and stuff, but we cannot just say that we are always going to get 6 rows. December over here, it's dropping to 3.18 with 8k. Totally out of season for this product. And then I'm scaling again on January. These are things that we have discussed together on the Black Friday, okay? That you scale and then you try to go back to the point that you were spending on Black Friday, which was 15k, 16k on Black Friday. We had 6 rows then, we had 5.15 on January. After that point, I haven't touched the other account of doing new ads. By the way, this company has a break-even ROAS of 2, but it's a small company yet, so we cannot scale as much as we want because we will have serious stock issues. On February, we had 4.8, maintaining the same spend, and then we had a drop on March. The other account is still profitable, okay? It's fine, I'm saying, but we have 3.52. Okay, we scaled a little bit, but this is not... I don't believe that these are the rows that we should get with that. Without me touching anything during March, which was a bad period, and in this account, which I can afford it and I know that I'm not losing and stuff, of course, I discussed with the owner and the owner trusts me and all of that, and I explained. Right now, on the 17 days, 3.88 without touching anything, I'm saying, okay, without doing anything. And on the last 7 days, 4.43. So we go back to the normal periods over here without touching my ad account, with my complex, with my structure of several campaigns over here that I do trust and I want to keep them because I have invested on them and they have data and all of that. So I'm not just going to start closing them or do all of these kind of things, and working with an average result. For example, in the last month over here, We can see that, for example, this one, okay, someone would go and say, okay, maybe let's close this one. Okay, let's see how it goes. It has improved already on the last 7 days. So a lot of times people just, they don't see the ad account as a whole and as an average result, and they just go and touch this campaign and this campaign. But this is creating a problem here, a problem here, a problem here, and then it makes the problems bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is why people end up losing a whole ad account just because of a bad period, because either they don't have the luxury, or they are touching too much because they are panicking or being influenced a lot by the people on Reddit or on other videos, or they are just speculating things, because when things are not doing well, you just speculate things. My ad fatigue, I'm overlapping audiences, I'm doing this and that, I'm having bad periods. Then you see a post on Reddit that talks about closing your ads.
My anxiety has kept me up for over 50 hours.
If you close your ads, by the way, you have ads for 6-7 months and you just close them, this is catastrophic also. Again, another account that I'm not touching a lot, it's a digital product, break-even ROAS is one. Again, I told you that these are other accounts that for some reason were not scaling because of the owners not having the budget and so on. But it totally proves that, if you play between the verge of being profitable or not, on bad periods you're going to be hurt. If you're leaving a good margin so that you can have the bad periods and maybe break even on bad periods and do well on the other periods, you're going to do better. But always people are greedy and they want to scale more and more the ad accounts. And I get it, this is how businesses are working. But here it's being proven that on bad periods, where the ad accounts are doing worse, we can see that if you don't touch them, they actually do better. On January, we have 3 ROAS over here with almost 10K spent. As I said, break-even ROAS 1.2, whatever we want to call it. It's a digital product. If we come here on March, we're going to be able to see that we have 2.82. So we have a drop. Again, super profitable, even with a lower spend, most probably because they closed one campaign over here that there was an offer that wasn't there, so we had a little bit of less spend. So less spend and less ROAS even affected by the bad period. And if we see this month alone, we have 3.63, going to spend again almost 10K. It's working pretty well because we didn't touch it. If we were going to touch it during that period, most probably now we would have worse results. I'm pretty sure that I can show you other accounts like this all day long and how they actually recovered. I think that's enough. And it's proving my point that if you have the luxury, again, of not touching the ad accounts, you should do it. Basically, there is one rule that I like to follow. If there is a very bad period on Facebook, the wise thing to do is nothing, basically, okay? And when more people are going to just panic and leave and they do the mistakes, then you're going to take this chunk of the market and you're going to be profitable again.
Some guys just do not know how to play it.
Now, if all of the people think like me and they touch nothing, then there's a problem. But we know that not all of them are going to do that. They're going to panic, or they're going to be forced to close their ads because of their numbers and all of that. So this is a strategy which I'm using, especially in other accounts that they have a good profit margin and they haven't scaled as much as they should for many reasons. And I want to share it with you because it's something that I'm seeing all the time, which is helping me because I'm seeing it. It's helping me on other ad accounts to hold my urge of doing changes and stuff because I might feel that I'm Superman and I can save this ad account. It's not about us. We cannot influence the results on a bad period. The results are going to be good again when it's going to be good for everyone. It's something outside of the platform. It's not something that we can fix on our own. And a lot of times you see people touching this and that, and they test this, and eventually something is working and they think that it's the thing that saved them and it actually worked. No, it worked because it worked for everyone else at the same time on the ad accounts. This is the bigger picture. This is what I want you to know. And maybe it's going to help you a little bit change your mindset on how many changes you're doing on bad periods. You have to do the least possible changes. I just realized that I showed you only smaller accounts, and some of you might think that yeah, this is not me and stuff. So let me show you one big ad account from 1st to 31st of January, 300k spent, 4.61. Okay, on February over here we go to 4.29, but scaling by 110k. I believe we spent 300k here. Yeah, so here we go now to 4.3 with 400k spent. Over here on March, we're spending again 400k. I lowered a little bit my spends or closed the campaign here and there, but as you can see, I have many active campaigns over here, okay? But yes, I did close some campaigns and stuff. This is what I was talking to about in the video, but I did the least possible changes, okay? And as you can understand, in another account like this, you can do many changes. So just closing one campaign, or just lowering the budget on a retargeting, or lowering the budget on another Advantage Plus, never on a CBO on a bad period, but only on Advanced Plus. When you do these kind of things, maybe you're going to be able to, 3.89, really small changes. Again, on April, it's actually recovering to 4.3, going to spend again somewhere around 400k. I hope that this is proving it also with a big ad account. On February, we have almost 4 ROAS, 138. Okay, so next one, let's go on March. 4.17 with 85. Okay, so as you can see here, I have lowered my spend in order for me to be able to, 138k, 3.93 on this bad period on March. I lowered my spend actually to 85k. I'm scaling back again. As you can see, these are campaigns that are active now, and I started them at the start of April. This month I'm having 4.5, already 73k spent. So I'm going to spend more than 85k that I had in the previous month. One way on bad periods, especially in big ad accounts, is to just lower the spend and just try to do, but again with the least possible changes. On smaller ad accounts, like the other ones which I showed you, 10k, 20k, which is the majority of the ad accounts, you can go and you can just do nothing, and I think that it's going to serve you much better if you have enough margins so that you can have the luxury of doing it. So if you can afford it, if you're breaking even, you can just go and you can just leave the ads and they're going to recover when all the things are going to recover. Going there and touching everything and doing major changes in a bad period, it's going to make things worse. Doing the least possible changes, it might help you to overcome this bad period. If you have the money to overcome it, you can also try that, because this is the ideal case scenario. Understand that your ads didn't stop working just immediately while you haven't done any change. Something happened and you're not the one who is influencing that. So you have to stay for as long as you can on the same structure that you have. I know that this video is not for everyone, and that maybe some of you are just unprofitable and you have to close the ads. I understand it and I respect it. But I have seen also ad accounts that people have profitable ad accounts, and just because they're losing a little bit of their ROAS while they're still profitable, they're just doing all of these things on bad periods, or they're being influenced by idiots on Reddit. Well, I'm not going to call them idiots because they're losing money on this period. They're just panicking and all of that. I understand that. That's my view on that, and this is what I wanted to share with you with data. And I have another video, I believe, which was September, 10 bad days across several ad accounts, but 10 days is completely different from 30 days, which is proving it even more now. But I know that most of you will not have the luxury of doing this. But this is what Facebook is. It's a cruel world and it's full of competition, and whoever has the money, the funds and all of that, they're going to win. After all, if you think of it, Temu is actually spending money like 2 or 3 billion every year just in the United States, and they're just losing money. So money talks, guys, okay? And whoever has the money or the good profit margins or whatever that may be, or the good numbers or the good AOV, whatever, these are the ones that are going to be able to be more stable on the platform. Everyone else who don't have this luxury, they're going to suffer from the bad period. If you want to learn more, you can check my book, my course, my website, and of course my mentorship programs. And until we meet again, guys, be creative, be consistent.